The rooster's crow sliced through the morning mist, heralding the arrival of a new day. The village of Alwar, still wrapped in the gentle embrace of dawn, began to stir. The first light of the sun painted the sky in hues of pink and gold, casting a magical glow over the landscape. A new day began in Alwar. The villagers, accustomed to the rhythm of nature, slowly emerged from their homes. The air was filled with the soft sounds of morning, the rustling of leaves, the distant call of birds, and the gentle murmur of waking life. Golden light bathed the mud houses, illuminating their earthy tones and highlighting the intricate patterns of the thatched roofs. The village, with its simple yet beautiful architecture, looked like a scene from a timeless painting. Smoke curled from clay ovens, carrying the aroma of roti. The scent of freshly baked bread mingled with the crisp morning air, creating a comforting and familiar atmosphere. Women, clad in vibrant saris, busied themselves with the morning chores, their laughter and chatter adding to the symphony of sounds. A young boy, Vijay, hurried along the narrow lanes. His small feet kicked up dust as he made his way through the labyrinth of paths that crisscrossed the village. The morning sun cast long shadows, and the village began to come alive with activity. He clutched a worn notebook, his heart full of dreams. Vijay's eyes sparkled with determination as he navigated the familiar paths. The notebook, filled with his hopes and aspirations, was a symbol of his desire for a better future. Vijay dreamt of a life beyond Alwar, a life he'd only glimpsed in flickering images on his neighbor's mobile phone. Those brief moments of connection to the outside world fueled his imagination and ignited a fire within him to explore and achieve more. Alwar, nestled amidst the vast plains of India, was a village untouched by time. Its serene beauty and tranquil environment provided a stark contrast to the bustling cities that lay beyond the horizon. The village was a sanctuary, a place where time seemed to stand still. Life here moved at its own pace, governed by the rhythms of nature and the weight of tradition. The villagers, with their deep-rooted customs and practices, found joy in the simplicity of their daily routines. Each day was a testament to their resilience and unwavering spirit. The villagers lived in harmony with the land, their days a seamless blend of ancient rituals and simple joys. From the early morning prayers to the evening gatherings around the fire, every moment was infused with a sense of community and belonging. The air was thick with the scent of wood smoke and freshly tilled earth. These familiar aromas were a reminder of the hard work and dedication that went into sustaining their way of life. As the sun climbed higher, the village of Alwar embraced the new day with hope and determination. Life in Alwar was a tapestry woven from threads of tradition. Every day unfolded according to customs passed down through generations. The elders were the keepers of these traditions, their wisdom guiding every aspect of village life. From the sowing of crops to the celebration of festivals, life revolved around a shared history and a deep sense of community. The men, weathered by the sun and toil, worked the land as their fathers and forefathers had. Women, adorned in colorful saris, tended to their homes and families, their hands skilled in the arts of cooking, weaving, and storytelling. Children, their laughter echoing through the lanes, learned the ways of their ancestors, their lives inextricably linked to the land and its seasons. But even in Alwar, change was whispering on the wind. The outside world, with its allure of progress and modernity, was slowly seeping into the village's fabric. The arrival of electricity a few years ago had been the first sign. Then came the occasional motorbike sputtering through the narrow lanes, its rider a curious sight for the village children. A small shop had opened on the outskirts of the village, its shelves stocked with colorful packets of chips and biscuits, items that were once unheard of in Alwar. A flickering television in the village headman's house offered glimpses of a world beyond their fields and traditions. The winds of change brought with them a sense of both excitement and unease. In the heart of the village, the air was thick with anticipation. The old ways, deeply rooted in tradition, were being challenged by the whispers of modernity. The villagers found themselves at a crossroads where the past met the future in a delicate dance. The younger generation, exposed to the outside world through these small windows, felt the pull of modernity. Smartphones and televisions became their portals to a world beyond the village, a world filled with endless possibilities and new horizons. They were captivated by the allure of technology, which promised a life of convenience and excitement. They yearned for the opportunities and conveniences they saw on television, the ones that seemed so far removed from their own lives. The images of bustling cities, advanced technology, and modern lifestyles painted a picture of a future they desperately wanted to be a part of. Conversations among the youth often revolved around dreams of leaving the village for a better life. They questioned the old ways, much to the dismay of their elders, who saw tradition as the bedrock of their existence. The generational divide grew wider as the youth's enthusiasm for change clashed with the elders' steadfast commitment to preserving their heritage. Arguments became more frequent, with each side struggling to make their voices heard. The elders, wise in the ways of the village, watched this transformation with apprehension. They had seen the village through countless seasons and changes, but this felt different. The rapid pace of technological advancement and the youth's eagerness to embrace it left them feeling uncertain about the future. They feared that their traditions, their values, would be swept away by the relentless tide of progress. The stories, customs, and practices that had defined their community for generations seemed to be at risk of fading into obscurity. The elders gathered frequently to discuss these concerns, hoping to find a way to bridge the gap between the old and the new. They clung to the old ways, seeing them as anchors in a world that was changing too fast. For them, these traditions were not just practices, but a way of life, a connection to their ancestors and a source of identity. As the village stood on the brink of transformation, the struggle between preserving the past and embracing the future continued to unfold. This clash of old and new created a rift between the generations. In the heart of Alwar, a small rural village, this divide was palpable. The older generation, with their deep-rooted traditions and customs, found it hard to accept the rapid changes brought about by modernity. They had lived their entire lives following the same routines, the same practices, and the same beliefs. To them, change was not just unnecessary, it was a threat to their way of life. The young craved progress, while the old clung to tradition. The younger generation, exposed to the world beyond their village through technology and education, yearned for a different life. They wanted to break free from the constraints of their rural existence and explore new opportunities. They saw the world changing around them and wanted to be a part of it. This desire for progress often put them at odds with their elders, who viewed such aspirations with suspicion and concern. This divide was most evident in their attitudes towards education. For the younger generation, education was a beacon of hope, a pathway to a brighter future. They believed that through learning, they could achieve their dreams and bring about positive change in their community. Schools, books, and teachers became symbols of this hope, representing a world of possibilities that lay beyond the village boundaries. The elders, steeped in the ways of the land, saw little value in formal schooling. To them, the knowledge passed down through generations, the skills honed by years of hard work in the fields, were far more valuable than anything that could be learned in a classroom. They believed that the wisdom of the land, the understanding of the seasons, and the knowledge of farming were the true lessons of life. They believed that the true lessons of life were learned in the fields, under the open sky. The elders cherished the simplicity and purity of their rural life. They found contentment in their daily routines, in the cycles of planting and harvesting, and in the close-knit community that had always been their support system. To them, the idea of leaving this life behind for the uncertainties of the modern world was unthinkable. But the younger generation, inspired by stories of people who had found success in the cities, saw education as their ticket to a better life, a life beyond the confines of Alwar. They dreamed of a future where they could achieve their full potential, where they could make a difference not just for themselves but for their families and their village. These dreams were fueled by the tales of those who had ventured out and made a name for themselves, proving that change was possible. Vijay, the young boy with a thirst for knowledge, embodied this generational divide. He was a symbol of the new aspirations and hopes of his generation. With a book in hand and dreams in his eyes, Vijay represented the future that the younger generation envisioned for themselves. His determination to pursue education despite the challenges was a testament to the changing times. He walked miles each day to attend the nearest school, much to the disapproval of his grandfather. The journey was long and arduous, but Vijay's resolve was unwavering. Each step he took was a step towards his dreams, a step away from the life his grandfather had known. This daily trek was a physical manifestation of the generational divide, a journey from the past to the future. His grandfather, a man who had spent his entire life tilling the land, saw no point in Vijay's pursuit of education. To him, the fields were the only classroom one needed, and the lessons learned there were the only ones that mattered. He watched Vijay's efforts with a mix of confusion and disapproval, unable to understand why his grandson would choose a path so different from the one he had walked all his life. The allure of the outside world, however, came at a price. Some villagers, lured by the promise of better jobs and a more comfortable life, left Alwar to seek their fortunes in the cities. Many returned disillusioned, their dreams shattered against the harsh realities of urban life. They returned to Alwar, carrying with them the scars of their experiences, a stark reminder of the challenges of bridging the gap between tradition and modernity. Yet there were others who found success, sending money back to their families, contributing to the slow but steady development of Alwar. This influx of money brought with it new challenges, as traditional values clashed with the aspirations of a new generation. Despite these challenges, the spirit of Alwar endured. The villagers, bound by strong ties of kinship and community, continued to celebrate their festivals with fervor, their traditions a vibrant tapestry woven into the fabric of their lives. The rhythmic beat of the dhol during the harvest festival, the joyful laughter of children playing in the dust, the comforting aroma of spices wafting from kitchen. These were the threads that held Alwar together, reminding its people of their shared history and identity. The warmth of the community, the sense of belonging that permeated every aspect of life in Alwar was something precious. It was a stark contrast to the anonymity and isolation that often characterized life in the cities. What does the future hold for Alwar? Will it succumb to the relentless march of progress, its traditions fading into distant memories? Or will it find a way to adapt, to embrace modernity while preserving its unique identity? The answer perhaps lies in the hands of young Vijay and his generation. They are the bridge between the old and the new, the ones who must find a way to honor their heritage while stepping into an uncertain future. As Alwar grapples with the challenges of a rapidly changing world, one thing remains certain. Its spirit, rooted in the strength of its people and the richness of its traditions, will continue to endure. Alwar, a place seemingly frozen in time, is in fact a microcosm of the larger story of India, a country grappling with its own transformation. It is a story of tradition and change, of challenges and resilience, of a people striving to hold on to their past while embracing an unknown future. Alwar's story is a poignant reminder that progress and tradition are not mutually exclusive, that it is possible to embrace modernity without erasing the past. As the sun sets on Alwar, casting long shadows across its fields, one can't help but feel that this village, with its timeless traditions and its hopeful dreams, holds within it the key to a future where the old and the new coexist in harmony.